It began as one of those harmless nights, a relaxed dinner with friends, laughter echoing between wine glasses, the kind of evening that feels warm, effortless, and comfortably familiar. Jenna, my wife, had always been the life of such gatherings. She knew exactly how to make people laugh, how to keep the room alive. I used to love that about her, or at least, I thought I did. We sat across from each other at the long oak table when it happened. Mark, one of our friends, was sharing a funny story about some actor his wife found attractive. Everyone laughed. Then Jenna leaned back, completely unfazed, and said, "Please, I'd trade my husband for that guy any day." The table erupted in laughter. Everyone except me. I smiled, because that's what you do when you're publicly mocked under the mask of humor. You smile. You go along with the act. But inside, something quietly splintered. It wasn't the joke itself that hurt. It was how easily she said it, like she'd thought about it before, like the line had been rehearsed, waiting behind her perfect, polished grin. I looked at her, really looked, and in that instant, I didn't see my wife anymore. I saw a stranger. The woman who once looked at me with affection now saw me as the punchline. For the first time, I felt invisible, not just to her, but to everyone sitting at that table. The laughter faded, replaced by the faint clinking of silverware and the forced murmur of small talk. But my mind stayed trapped in that moment, her voice looping louder than anything else in the room. On the drive home, Jenna hummed along to the radio, utterly unbothered. I kept my eyes fixed on the road, fingers gripping the steering wheel, waiting for her to say something. Maybe a quiet apology, even a hint of remorse. But nothing came. When we pulled into the driveway, she turned to me and said, "You're not actually upset about that, are you?" It was a joke. Lighten up. A joke. That's all it ever was to her. Every cutting remark, every subtle jab cloaked in humor. For years, I'd laughed along, convincing myself it was harmless teasing. That's what love was supposed to be, right? Patience, understanding, forgiveness. But that night, as she walked inside, I stayed behind in the car. The air felt heavy, as if the silence itself was trying to tell me something I wasn't ready to admit. Somewhere between her laughter and my silence, something in our marriage had shifted. The warmth that once filled our home had turned cold, replaced by indifference. She no longer saw me as her partner. I had become her prop, her safe target for jokes that made her sparkle in front of others. And I had let her. In the days that followed, her words refused to fade. They echoed through the quiet, while I shaved in the morning, sipped coffee before work, or lay awake long after she'd fallen asleep beside me. I'd trade my husband for that guy. The line replayed like a cruel refrain, cutting deeper each time. Slowly, I began to notice the pattern I'd ignored for years. How her laughter always came at my expense. How she never laughed with me, only about me. At dinners, parties, even casual get-togethers, I had become her favorite punchline. And every time I forced a smile through the sting, I taught her it was okay to keep doing it. One evening, I finally asked, "Do you even respect me anymore?" She blinked, surprised. "Of course I do," she said. "You're just being too sensitive." But respect isn't proven in words. It's revealed in how you treat someone when no one's watching, and even more so when everyone is. That night, I packed a small bag. No shouting, no tears, no dramatic scene. Just a quiet truth settling in. I was done being a joke in my own marriage. When I walked out, she didn't follow. Maybe she thought I'd cool off and come back, like always, but this time I didn't. It's strange. Peace doesn't always come from fixing what's broken. Sometimes it comes from finally walking away from the person who keeps breaking you and realizing you were never the punchline after all.